Good morning. It's Sunday. I haven't worked out yet. I slept in today. I won't start my day though without celery juice. I'm gonna go work out later. I'm gonna go to Seoul at 10:45. I am on here though because I woke up and I was just thinking, what is it? Like what am I gonna do today? And then I started to get a little overwhelmed on all of the possible things that I could do today, all the things that I probably need to get done today, all the things I've already committed to do today. And I was like, holy shit, that's just a little overwhelming. But then I'm also reading this book called The One Thing. And so the overwhelm led me to go to what's one thing that I need to do today in order to probably accomplish even more things. What's one thing that I can do that'll have a ripple effect on all of the other things that I'm gonna do today? So I spent just about 25 seconds thinking about that, and actually celery juice was what popped into my mind. Surprise. But what happens when I drink celery juice is I feel like I accomplished something kind of big in the morning by, blending and straining and drinking something that's full of nutrients for myself. Like, if you really want to spend some time thinking about that, that's a pretty big deal thing to do for yourself first thing in the morning when you wake up, right? And with that feeling of accomplishment, I get a hit of dopamine and I start to feel a lot better about everything else that I have to accomplish. I feel stronger and more powerful when I start to attack my day, right? But then also on a cellular level, I have health and clarity on my side. So now I'm actually in a position to make better decisions. Those decisions don't take me as long to make. I then when I approach a project, I can have a clarity of mind, so I have focus immediately rather than trying to ramp up and get ready for the focus. When I'm putting today, sorry, I'm making hot water for coffee as well. I'm also putting grapes in my celery juice today because I wanted to sweeten it up. And then I'm also doing a green apple and a green pear from the farmer's market yesterday. I'm so excited. You guys, celery juice has totally changed my life. This one thing in the morning has given me energy, clarity, and it also makes me feel very invincible on like an emotional level. I feel like I'm really balanced out, which is really incredible. So I just wanted to talk about this though, because I think what we do, and I talk about this a lot with my clients, is when we have these big deal things that we want to accomplish, or we want to create these big, massive changes in our life. They feel big, they feel overwhelming. We want them so badly. But the overwhelm of thinking of us now and us there, it feels very impossible. And I know this because I lived that. I desperately wanted to not cry in my salad every day at lunch when I was working a job I didn't absolutely feel in alignment with. I really wanted to be what I'm embodying right now, which is somebody that fearlessly shares whatever pops into my head, but fearlessly shares these things that I'm learning on my personal development path. I wanted to be somebody who hung around people that talked about this all the time, but it felt like I was never going to find them. It felt like I was never going to be her, because between me and her, it seemed huge. It seemed overwhelming. But you read this book called The One Thing, and you live the life that I've lived, where I actually just started to notice these little by little things that I was doing every day. Getting up and going for a run, getting up and going to Soul Cycle, getting up and making celery juice, getting up and journaling and writing, getting up and meditating. Or even throughout the day, instead of taking on an immense amount of tasks, I would go, oh, okay, I can do one thing. I can do this one thing. And maybe that one thing will give me the kick that I need. Maybe that one thing will give me the quick shot of dopamine that I need to get through the day. Because when I started to really understand the power of momentum, I could actually start something, and then you would get into it, and then all of a sudden you'd realize you have accomplished about 7 different things when you thought that it was going to be nearly impossible to even do one. So the reason why I'm on here at all, and not only to make celery juice, celery, pear, apple, grape juice, is to ask you, like, what's one thing that you think that you could do that might just set you on the path and get you just an inch closer to the goals that you want? For me, it's always working out because of the 80-20 rule, which you guys are probably really familiar with, right? So what could I do 20% of the time? What could I do in 20% of my day that may have an effect over 80% of my day? And that's generally moving your body and meditating, right? So you calm your body so you can focus, you have more energy, you have clarity, you make better decisions, and you just get stuff more done, and you celebrate the fact that you get more stuff done, right? Stuff more done? Did I say that? Doesn't matter. One thing. So for me, one thing is celery juice. Sometimes that one thing is Soul Cycle. Sometimes that one thing is journaling. Sometimes that one thing, you guys, is picking the phone up and just making the call. That call could be to my family. It could be to a friend. It could be to a business associate. It could be to a scary cold call. One though. Break it down. It's only one thing. There's this adage that people who want to start an exercise program have a difficult time with, right? They, when you think about going for a run, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to put my shoes on, I have to pick my clothes on, I have to find the right sports bra, I have to find the right playlist, I have to find the little strappy thing that holds my phone in, I have to find my headphones, I have to feel good about it, I have to map my route. They just think about all of those things that goes into going for a run. When you ask a runner, they're like, I put my shoes on and I go out the door. So if going to the gym or getting into running is difficult, but you know that those are two things that you want to do, and they're two things that are a must for you in order to accomplish your dreams and your goals, could your one thing just be putting on your shoes? And man, if you don't get out the door, you don't get out the door because your one thing was just putting your shoes on. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, you put your shoes on and you're like, man, I got my shoes on already. Or maybe the one thing is just getting into the gym and walking into the gym. I did an exercise when I joined Equinox because Equinox is so stinking overwhelming. It's beautiful in there and everyone in there is beautiful. So I was like, I wasn't going. I was spending $1 million and I wasn't going to the gym, which is just insane. So I devised a little plan, a little one thing plan. I didn't even know it at the time that it was a one thing plan, but I went and I put my shoes on and I went and I just got familiar with the space. I went into the locker room. I looked what the lockers were like. I went to each of those stations of the treadmills, the exercise bikes, the ellipticals, the weight room. I went into the yoga studio and I just looked around and I just got familiar with the space. That one thing that I did to just make me feel comfortable, just to make me feel like the 80-20 rule, 20%, I just went and said, okay, 80%, I now started going to the gym. Because I know that fear of what was I gonna do when I got there didn't exist anymore. Look at this. You guys, a couple berries made it in there. Is that illegal? It's no longer green. Oh well, it's just us. So ask yourself, what's one that you could do today? And it's Sunday, man. What's one thing on a Sunday? The world's your oyster. You don't even have a job that's unless you work on Sunday, that's gonna demand something of you today. Well, what's one thing you could do today that might get you closer to a goal that you want? Man, you know what I just thought of? One thing could be an affirmation. One thing could be, I'm gonna tell myself how beautiful I am. So I go through the day as a beautiful person. Is that something that I really want to feel? I want to feel good in this body. What if I just told myself I felt good in this body today? It could be a body that I don't feel like I'm attached to. But maybe just for today, you can love it. Oh my gosh, look at this, you guys. This is gonna be good. All right, enjoy your Sunday. And let me know in the comments what's one thing you could do today. And let me know if you don't know. I know. Bye.